Hey everyone, we're back with another episode of How to Get My Job. We sit down with amazing people within the design and product industry and ask them how their careers started, evolved, and what advice they have for those coming after them. Joining us today is Lilibeth Bustos Linares, lead product designer at Nuvocargo and UX UI teacher at Memorisely. She's also a founder of SoulDoodles. Hey Lilibeth, how are you doing?
Hey Danielle, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be sitting with you today.
Nice, amazing. Yeah, no, thank you so much for being a guest. Before we jump straight into the questions, what would be great to know is what SoulDoodles is.
SoulDoodles is a community of artists and illustrators I created or funded 2 years ago with the purpose of basically inspired people with stories from illustrators and artists around the world. And we share illustration challenge with a lot of people. And we just see basically how adults connect with that inner child creating art every single month. And yeah, it's basically this community. I'm actually going to be launching the first product in the upcoming months, and I'm super excited, and hopefully the product will bring more inspiration for our community to create more art.
I love that. Yeah, I did actually check out the website and I love that, I guess, that whole theme of like connecting with your inner child. Yeah, amazing. Let's jump into it with the first question. How did you get your first job in product design?
I think it all started since I was in Colombia. My background is in communications and journalism, and I got the chance while I was working in this company doing marketing and internal communications and external communications to redesign the website. We just basically got the chance to work with an agency that I hired, and I was just fascinated about their work, their illustrations, the way that they put basically all my copy into a place that was easy to see and connect. So I think from there was where I started thinking that maybe I choose the incorrect career for me. I love communications and journalism too, but I just felt like design had so much power. So I moved to the US. Basically, the way that you can do it is you have a very rich family that they pay you for a very expensive school in the US, or you have just your family that support you and can say you as an au pair. So that was my family. My dad, thanks God, helped me to just turn into an au pair. Randomly, I decided that I wanted to leave Colombia. I wanted to start this journey. So during that time, I was able to learn English. But during that time, I got the chance to connect my artistic spirit with photography and design. And after finish my program as an au pair, I decided to switch into a student. And I was living in San Francisco at the time, where tech and UX and UI was everywhere. So I applied to do a program in design that I was lucky to just get accepted and kind of like give me the foundations of what it was. At the time, I didn't feel very confident with my English. So I thought that it would be better for me to start in visual design first, in order to be able to explain my designs as a UX designer. I jumped into visual design, which I was very, very excited about. I got very lucky and started my job as a digital designer in an e-commerce company. And then during my time there, I felt that I was feeling like a little monkey. I just felt like I wasn't I wasn't that useful in what I really wanted to do. So what I did was register myself to Berkeley University. During that time, I learned a lot. Then my boss, she knew that I was doing the program at Berkeley, and then they were having very bad sales. So I basically started by helping them with creating a better information architecture, defining the user personas. And at the end of my experience at Roughlin, I ended up redesigning the whole entire landing page and more. So I kind of like jumped from digital design into UX design, and it was a great experience just by doing it for the company that I was already working on. After that, I decided to move to Sweden, and it's where I am right now, but I live in New York. And COVID happened, I got stuck in Sweden for a long time, and thanks God my company was still allowing me to work part-time from here. But I was super proactive to find community around me and also learn of like what that real portfolio that I was building from my case study from roughly known and other companies like that I have like in freelance work were able to actually get me into a job. So after sharing my portfolio, as many people do in LinkedIn, I got the chance to put a portfolio that I felt very confident, and I joined another community that was for Latinos, which the name is Tequeria. And then I saw that someone was just saying, we are a design agency, we're looking for a designer who can do UX UI. Let me know if you want to apply, blah, blah. So I connected with the person who was actually my PM. And I interviewed with the team and they loved me. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. So that was how I got my product design role.
Wow. I mean, what a journey. You mentioned something about when you're putting your portfolio together. And did you say that you reached out to people on LinkedIn as well, just to get feedback?
During that time, my darling friend Felix Lee, who is the founder of ADP Lease, started ADP Lease by basically sharing a huge spreadsheet around LinkedIn and saying like, hey, this is a designer who works at Google and will be open to help you out. So I was like, all right, I would love to talk with somebody who works at Google and give me feedback in my portfolio. So it kind of like I just use what was available. And right now, ADP Lease is an amazing platform. I also do mentoring in there. And yeah, I felt very encouraged and yeah, just very supported by the community. I think it's so key that you connect with other people, that you have a buddy that you can just talk and say, hey, I switched careers and now I'm jumping into UX UI. How can we collaborate to each other? Because right now we are very connected, but we are very disconnected at the same time.
And yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that, the importance of building, not only building community or surrounding yourself, but also, yeah, finding your communities as well and reaching out to people for help. Well, let's move on to the next question. What are the most important qualities a product designer could have?
So a product designer should be always listen more than what they talk. But I think it's so important to listen, to understand as well. I think product design is not an easy job. Actually, it takes a lot of energy, and you are working together with different people. So you have to listen, trying to figure out how you can bring all the technical stuff that you learn from school or in YouTube if you're a self-taught designer, and actually put it into a place that is going to make the process better. So I think when you listen, you can actually understand what are the problems. By listening, I think like you just have big potential. Empathy, I think, just is part of us as humans. If you cannot relate with anyone that has a problem, that is trying to figure out things out, then you are in the wrong career, because we are problem solvers. But we also have to understand that when we are trying to solve a problem, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the end of it. As a product designer, yes, we are hired to solve problems, but you cannot solve the problem by yourself. You have to always think about the business and the users, and also how people around you work and what are the processes that make your work faster and easy, because you're going to see that being a product designer is kind of like trying to put together a huge puzzle. So it's super important that you keep that in mind. So empathy, of course, but listening and just trying to be always open to innovate and connect with others, which is key.
Amazing. I guess this rolls on quite nicely to our next question. If on the topic of, I guess, advice and great sayings, which is, what's the best career advice you've ever been given?
I actually going to combine two. When I was in university, I remember I had a class that the teacher asked, can you respond to the question, who am I? Like, who is Lily? And then I say, well, I am a student trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. But then he asked again, like, no, but who is Lily? And like, ask us, like, who are you? Like, we are more than just our regular job. Our personality and our background and our culture can bring so much into the table when you are a product designer, because you can actually connect with more people, but in terms of being professional, just opens doors for you in a different way. And now I'm going to combine the other thing that my coach Yuan told me one day when I was trying to find my job as a product designer. She said, Lily, imagine your life as this discotheque or a club that you are going to go and dance, and there are 3 different doors. The first one, that is the door where everyone just go and is in the huge line waiting in the middle of the cold or the sun or whatever it is the weather. The second one, that is the door that basically a person that you know from the club can bring you in and just keep the line. And then the third door, that is the door that you can create, and nobody creates it for you. You just create it with your talents. And I just thought that is so beautiful and connects with who I am, because that door is basically the person that I am, with my talents, with my past background, and can bring so much to the table. So the best piece of advice is just in between those two. The more genuine we can be and the more helpful we can be to our communities, the more open doors are going to happen in our lives.
That is so true. And that is such a beautiful visual, seeing all these different doors, and then that end one with the, this is what you can create yourself with your own, I guess, imagination and creativity. And we all have different qualities and experiences, whether it's cultural, whether it's, whatever it may be that we can bring to the table. I think that is really beautiful. Thank you, Lily, so much for being a guest. I've loved this conversation.
Well, thank you so much, Danielle, for reaching out. And I really hope all my advice, my past background can help people.
Love that. And I guess until next time, this is a bye from me.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.